Oops.
I'm going to run over to your account. And Beth and Julie, if you want to share the live stream from Sushi's profile, if you can.
What is that? How would I don't know how to do things. Sorry.
Where it says stream this to your audience.
Sure. Okay, so you just hit that?
Yeah.
I'm not logged in.
And I'm live right now, so.
Okay, I would have to make an account.
Well, if you're live, then we're all live.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Last
Just,
Julie. Oh.
it's
She's
not
probably, she probably went into try and share the stream.
Oh, here we are. All right. Restack.
For some reason, I didn't get the title of the show in there, but I did do that post earlier to talk about what we're talking about.
All right. I reposted it and tagged Julie and Beth.
I'm just gonna say I don't know what I just did.
Well, that's okay.
I don't know.
Well, we need Julie back.
Okay, might have an echo for a second because
I don't know.
nope, I did it. No one's in the chat yet.
I know.
Oh, there's So. All right.
So-so's in?
Yep.
So.
So.
Oh, hello.
Okay, 3. So and Julie, you're back. Julie, do you need me to send you the link again? I don't see you down on the backstage.
Julie, can you hear us? But of course, she's not going to be able to hear us.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I got lost in the ether. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So just go to your hey RG. RG, I've reached out to him about coming on. I don't know your pronouns, RG, but yeah, I've reached out to him about being a guest.
All right. Yes, thank you for clicking the hearts. Also, make sure you share the live stream link and engage in the chats. That brings people.
We're just waiting for Julie to come back.
Okay.
Oop. No, I'm echoing.
Okay. Do you have two?
I shut it down. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, two audios going is not.
I told her to just follow the link again.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
How's everyone doing in the chat? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Wasn't that the name of the band? A band, Happy Sundays?
I don't know.
It was like my college days. There was a band called the Happy Mondays. That's what they were called.
Hey. Oh yes, I forgot about the heart thing.
Yeah.
I can't see if it's working because I'm looking.
I don't know if mine's working right. Oh.
There you go. I'm jealous. I can't do that on mine.
I don't know if mine showed or not. No, it didn't.
Oh, Julie's there. All right, hang on.
All right.
There we go.
Now I can't figure out how to get out of this.
We're all here.
We are all here.
Welcome back.
Nieta's. Hi, Nieta.
Hello, Nieta.
I was out in the void. I couldn't find my way back in.
Yeah, it's okay.
I needed somebody to use these things for me. This way.
Yep.
All right. Well, we do have 5 in the chat. We can just get going and
work for me.
Hopefully we haven't seen Kimmy yet, and Kimmy's usually here. And anyway,
is there a way for me to see the chat on here?
Not on the StreamYard side.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, but
that's okay.
But yeah.
So I'm watching on the Substack side, so it's out of sync.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it is. There's like a slight delay, but
Yeah.
should we just get going then?
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Hey, everyone in the chat. Welcome. This is Mind Haven. I am Sushi, the host, and we have Nero, co-host. And today we have two guests, Beth Cruz and Julie Elder, and warm welcomes to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, today's topic is about narcissism and gaslighting and how it affects our mental health. And I don't know about Nero, if Nero's had the experience with that, but Beth and Julie and myself all have. So that being said,
Nero's part of the club. She's definitely part of the club.
any of you two want to just get going on the conversation? Oh, wait, we do have a disclaimer.
Yeah.
So
I haven't memorized it, but basically we're not professionals. If you have a crisis, you can dial or text 988, and I don't know the better, but it's in the ticker below on the screen.
Yeah.
Please do not contact the hosts or any of the guests. Again, if you're in crisis, use those hotlines, and otherwise, we hope you're okay. Does that work?
that worked great.
All right.
There are
All right.
always options, even when you think there are not options. There are always options.
Yeah.
I froze.
know.
There
Hey,
are.
Beth, and I think we'll start with you since you have the most recent experience.
We can talk about where they're from first, right?
Oh, yeah. So you can, yeah, Beth, where are you from? And
Oh, is this the part where you stand up in class? Or
yeah, raise your hand.
My name is Beth. I am out in Washington State, and I am a co-host of Chronically Illing Out on Mondays with my co-host Nick Perro, So's World, and Stephanie Wilson, Doc Steph. And on Wednesdays, co-host with So and Time for Life. And I am working on writing my memoir and putting it out on Substack slowly.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That's good.
Awesome sauce.
I'll move it again.
All right. And Julie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. This is the part where when I had to do it in college class, I couldn't even remember my name.
yeah.
So I'm a little bit further ahead of that, a little less social anxiety than there was then. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and then I ended up in California, the East Bay, across the bay from San Francisco. I was there for like 45 years and spent a few years in Tennessee. And then now I'm back here east of Portland. So
Nice.
yeah, it's super windy where I am.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we had that all day today. I was freezing and getting rained on a little bit when I was working on my vehicle.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Nero? Should we go on with the conversation?
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to say real quick that
Sure.
you can pretty much assume anyone who's been in the military has gone through it.
Yeah,
That's
true.
Fosters that kind of behavior. And people with those kind of behaviors do tend to thrive in such an environment. Not everyone who joins or who is a leader in that environment is narcissistic or antagonistic, but it's also just part of the system.
Okay. Well, that explains something someone else told me here. There's somebody I met here I'm in a over 55 mobile home park. Oh, excuse me, manufactured home.
There you go.
And I met somebody and she was just very brusque, I think is the thing. And somebody afterward told me she was in the military for a long time. So she's kind of stuck with that. And I'm like, so now you kind of helped explain that.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know. I'm scared of her. That's all I know.
I got a compliment on my hair.
Yeah, you did.
I love it. It looks so cute. So nice.
Aww.
Come up.
My mom's side of the family, we kind of hair.
Anyway, I want to see a doggy tail.
I know. I was like, what is happening?
That's so funny.
Yeah. I just was recently divorced like 3 years ago, and everything was good. We had a marriage about 5 years and a total of 7 or 8 years of knowing each other. And long story short, there was a little girl that I raised from birth, just back and forth between myself and biological mother, just because I knew the family so well. Mother was very hurt. Bio mom was very unstable. And so I stepped in and just kind of helped. But came a time where DFCF or whatever it's called, DCF, got involved and removed the child from the home. And I just got married. Yeah, this was like 2019. I just got married. And they placed the child with us. And anyway, the mother had like a year to get her shit together, and it didn't happen. So we had the option to adopt. Well, my ex was like, I'm not going to adopt, yada, yada, yada. And it was due to being selfish, for like wanted just me to herself, I guess. And so I offered her like $10,000 to go away. I'm like, you can't live here if I adopt this kid that I've raised since birth,
Yeah.
Like that's the rules. You can't be here. And she did take the offer and did it anyway. And then that's when all hell broke loose. Yeah. In fact, she called me a narcissist, and I was like, why don't you look in the mirror?
That's what my ex did. He kept sending me little videos after saying how the narcissistic women always pick the nice guys.
Oh.
That one's called projection, right?
Yes.
Gaslighting, projection. Yes.
Oh man.
Nice guys, like that's performative niceness.
Oh yeah, my ex was super nice until the true colors came out.
Yeah.
And,
mine was awesome to other people. I mean, like he was great to me at the beginning, but then it became, he had like his church and work person who was pretty likable, and then he had his at-home person who was not so much. Very much two people.
Yep.
It's a lot of, they could be like upstanding members of the community, especially communal narcissism, which is a term I learned from Dr. Romney. I'm like big fan kid with Dr. Romney, by the way.
Yes.
My introduction to her was trying to look up narcissistic abuse because a friend of mine was talking about it, and it was the first time I'd heard of it, and I knew nothing about it. And I started learning about it to try and be a better and supportive friend, and then realized I was in such a relationship myself.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
You're depressed. I was like, oh crap. Okay. Yeah. Communal narcissism is one of the things she talks about. And they can seem like they're, like really great and generous people. And they do a lot of like charity stuff, maybe either teachers or they run a nonprofit, stuff like that. And can also be really charming. And everybody just loves
them. My ex was so charming. Yes.
When behind the closed doors, away from the public, oh dear. Goodness.
Yeah.
And then people don't believe the abused person.
Oh, right. I know. I had two friends I had known for 30 years. 30 years. Side with him. Went behind my back to talk to him. Like, okay, one of those people was divorced, stayed with us after her divorce. What would she have done if I had gone to her ex, soon to be ex, and said, well, what do you think is the problem? Well, they're not going to say it's me. They're going to say it's her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the problem. You are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Beth? Like, what was your experience?
Well, I'm the loud one in the relationship. I am the one that speaks my mind. If there's a problem, I want to talk it out and move forward. I don't like things sitting out there. He withholds and always has. everything. He doesn't
Yeah.
share his thoughts or feelings.
Oh,
You
wow.
usually find those out when he's trying to defend whatever wrong he's done.
Oh.
You know, so I think it started when we met and we were in our 20s. I was going through a very bitter divorce. And I had 3 children with my first husband. And at 7.5 years in, he decided he didn't want to be married anymore, that he had married too young and it was just too much. And so, because I had already normalized abuse,
Oh, yeah.
coming from childhood trauma
Yes. I'm
and
familiar with this
being,
one.
going through sexual assault, I normalized things that should not have been normalized.
Right.
So the first, so I'm going to share this. This is pretty personal, but hey, everyone, here it goes. So the first thing that I dismissed was I had a pregnancy scare when we were dating. I was still going through my divorce. It had been going on 1.5 years. And so I was shocked. How could I have a pregnancy scare? And found out he admitted he had faked putting on a condom in the hopes of getting me pregnant.
Oh,
And
wow.
but that was love. That was how much he loved me, right?
Exactly. Oh,
And so
yeah.
it began with that, and then it went into control. If I left the house to go shopping, he was frantic. Where was I? Who was I with? Did I have the kids
Yeah.
with? You
Who
know.
are you with? Yeah.
Yep.
That's a fun one.
I remember going out with a girlfriend to a secondhand store. Our kids were little. We were looking for baby clothes and kindergarten kid clothes. And when I came back, he didn't speak to me for 3 days
Why?
because he didn't get to go. And so in the early, again, I thought, well, this is because he cares, right? He's just worried. I was still not.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't happy. Then it turned into he has a very abusive parent, extremely. And this person, my mother-in-law, was at me all the time. Mean. I think I put it out in one of my stories how one of her first things to me was, whose baby are you really carrying? Because my son has never been interested in overweight women before.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Holy
And
shit.
so I've got 3 kids. One has severe hemophilia. One has severe asthma. I'm in the thick of parenting. I'm in the thick of a bitter divorce. And then, my divorce is finalized and I get married because now we have a child. I have gotten pregnant. And it started the day after our wedding. I was presented with a prenup
Oh,
the day
goodness.
after
Wow.
the wedding that his mother had put together.
Oh.
And then I don't know. At that point, I'm angry and I'm battling about it, but I stayed. I stayed. And I thought, okay, this is just whatever excuse I came up with. It'll get better.
Yeah.
We have a lot going on, a lot of stress in the house. It didn't get better. And by the time I wanted to leave, it was 2005. He was not a helpful parenting partner. We now had 4 children. I was doing everything. I was paying the bills. I was working full time. I was parenting. He was on the couch constantly tired. I'm so tired.
Was he working?
And he was working, but after work,
so
he was
then everything
always
was for you
tired.
when we got home. Gotcha.
So
Familiar
when
with that.
we found out he had cancer. So then there was the excuse, right? There it was.
Yeah.
Can't leave now. This was the reason he behaved that way.
Oh.
It's the cancer. It's that. And so we went through this whole, he had gastric malt lymphoma, which was a cancer of elderly. He was in his late 30s.
Whoa, I've never even
Yeah.
heard of that one.
Yeah. It was his stomach.
Oh,
It ate through the wall of his stomach.
oh my.
And there was no warning other than severe fatigue.
Mm.
And then ultimately bleeding out.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I'm not going to leave at this point.
Yeah.
We're in
Right.
crisis. He's in crisis. Our whole family is in crisis. And his behavior started getting very concerning. His personality, he was saying things that didn't make sense. I had a friend come into town who I hadn't seen in since we were in 8th grade. And he was only coming in for work, and he contacted me to ask me where the best restaurant was in the area. And I met him as a friend for dinner. But as I'm getting ready, my husband says to me, he's behind me, and he says, "Is he a killer?" And I'm like, God, I hope not. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's like, I realize he's serious. And he was becoming extremely stressed. He was on high doses. The cancer had triggered ITP, so his body was
What's that?
destroying its platelets.
Oh,
That lasted 6 years. And all these medicines, Rituxan, Winrow, they're cancer drugs. I don't think he was doing well at all. He was on heavy duty drugs to stop to keep his platelets up. And at this time, his behavior is just horrible. He's not holding down work. We were told at one point he was dying. He had, oh gosh, when we have frontal temporal dementia, he had all these different, there was always an excuse for his behavior.
Mhm.
Always. Doctors couldn't figure it out. Therapist after therapist. And every time he did something, it was, well, I'm not well. Well, I'm having mental health issues. And then you're like checking your own self going, God, am I an asshole?
Right.
I'm the bad person expecting this to get better.
Mhm.
So therapist, yes, let's do therapist, right? So therapy started in 2013. And he couldn't follow even the simplest tasks of any follow through that the therapist would give. He went through therapist after therapist, and I thought, okay, well, we just gotta find the right one. I sat down with one. She invited me in, and I was amazed when she looked at him and said, "Wow, you've got it pretty good, don't you? She handles the kids. She handles work. She handles the house. What is it you do?"
Oh my.
And he just kind of was like, she goes, "Does that seem fair to you?" And he, well, no. So that was going to change because I was going to leave. But I had to give him time, right? You got to give me time.
Yeah.
I got to
Right.
work on it. Never mind how many years. It's been almost 30 now. Oh, well, been together about 32 years.
Wow.
And it reached this point where I lost my house
Yeah.
because of his gaslighting.
Mhm.
And I take some responsibility because I followed through with signing the papers. I knew it was pushing what we could do, but it was going to be different, right?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Always.
This time.
And I sat across from him and I said, we've been together a long time. This is our forever home. I don't know if I can lose my forever home. So I need to know that you're on board, right? And I was worried about my own health. What if I couldn't work?
Hmm.
my psoriatic arthritis and fibromyalgia and everything else
What a
flaring.
combo.
It was just so much. Well, I had enough of male fucking toxicity. I walked out of my job. I had the meanest boss I had ever had.
Oh.
He was an 80-year-old narcissistic, racist,
Oh.
Oof.
mean creature.
Yeah.
And I handed his keys to his adult son as his adult son said, whoa, 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 where are you going? I said, I'm not doing this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized when I did that in December 31st, 2024, 2025 was kind of a blur. It was, I walked out of my job and I said, I can't do this. My stress level is beyond what I can deal with.
Yeah.
I need to step back. And I said, this, you knew this could happen. And he said, oh yeah. Yeah, he was going to step up.
Mhm.
And then he lost his job.
Yeah.
Okay, this happens. He got a new job and we signed the papers to sell our home and to move into an apartment, you know, which is just, to me, now I love it. But at the time, it was like, I just left my forever home.
Yeah.
And I know that seems ridiculous, but it was like, I've just sold stuff to survive. I have done all this, brought all our stuff here that we could. And he loses the new job after a month, after we had just signed the papers for this apartment that I'm in.
Oh my goodness.
So now I filed for disability in February. I'm not going to hear till the end of the year, probably late October.
Yeah.
He has unemployment. We're literally, this was it. It was like, but what happened was that he lied about it.
Oh.
Of the reason why he was fired. And I have to tell you, I don't know what made me do what I did, but I did it. I was so angry that this company would hire him, take all his 35 years of knowledge, and then let him go. I was even convinced that because he said, I can't believe, he was just so shocked.
Yeah.
So I sent a nasty gram, not swearing, just stating facts of how horrified I was at their hiring and firing business practices.
Mhm.
And I received a very polite, well put together letter of explanation of him not performing at work and being talked to. It was like, it's me. It's me. I am doing the same thing, expecting a different result. I keep expecting the change, the wish. I mean, it's been a long time with this person. And I don't even know that it's not that he's a horrible person as much as he's so unhealed himself that but the difference is he's not willing to look at it.
Right.
He says he is, but there's no change. And I said, words without action are simply words.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this time it is different because I'm making it different. And there's big boundaries now.
That's good.
So,
that's great. Yeah, you have to protect yourself. I mean, you can only go so long before it hits you, Well,
it did. It did. When I found myself out, honestly, talk about mental health when, in the last few months, I was walking a pretty tight rope with a foot out the door and recognized that I was not doing well. That it was, here I had so much opportunity with Substack and my wonderful group of humans. And yet my life is like all of a sudden I'm doing everything I want to do, and my whole entire financial, personal, everything, life is falling apart. And it's like normally I would have just crawled back, pulled back, closed my computer, and just said, I just can't do this.
Mhm.
But fuck that shit.
Right.
It was no. I really had to pull myself up, I had to go to my doctor and say, "Here's my depression scores. I've maxed it out." And
Yeah.
have him go, "Oh, okay." And get on something to at least now
Yeah.
try to, say, "All right, this is going to get better." I do feel that it is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
We are working together to put our apartment together, and I'm just hanging on to see
Yeah.
where this is going to lead.
Hmm.
Yeah. Just make sure you keep your boundaries straight.
Yes.
Yes. And it sounds like he's at least respecting them for now.
He really, I think when I broke, I think he recognized I broke. I think it was a different, well, okay. And, it was just different. He's the great guy. He's the friend that all my girlfriends would just sit and hang out with and chat. He's like one of the girls. He fits in.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody adores him. And so for me, it's got to be the loud one. It's got to be the person who speaks their mind. It's got to be this or that. My oldest daughter, Livid, that I released it on Facebook, because then it's real, right?
Yeah, right.
But it was making it real to myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I had that relationship pretty severe right now. So I'm losing a lot, but I feel like I'm doing what is right for me, what's right for my own mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to heal from my own life as I would like to, because it's been constant crisis.
Yeah.
Constant crisis. Constant fight or flight mode. And I'm just ready to be done and have peace.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And it took me quite a long time to get there as well. Like post-divorce, I had just bought, I've owned 3 homes, and the last one was supposed to be the forever home, and it was close to $500,000 home. Very nice. And we hadn't even paid our first mortgage payment, and my ex gave me the divorce card, and I was just like, what? So yeah, and it went on and on and on. It just got worse, and we had a couple roommates, and she was trying to pit them against me.
Fun.
She would do things like, we want this and we want that, and she tried to tell me that I had to pay like 2/3 of the mortgage because our child lived with us. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Like Axel's a minor. Like Axel doesn't have a job.
That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
When you marry a parent, someone who is a parent, the kid is part of the package deal.
Exactly. Well, here's the interesting part.
Way.
Yeah, I mean, and she knew this, that I had raised Axel since birth. I got Axel 3 days old because mom was in prison. And so, she was very aware that this child was very important to me. And at any rate,
what happened? I'm sorry, I wasn't moving and balloons came. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's celebrating.
It's like, whoa.
I enjoyed it.
So this went on and on and on. I mean, she told me that she's like, I've talked to an attorney, and but she never served me with papers. So we bought the house in August. September, October, November, December. So 4 months went by. And it just got worse and worse and worse. The behaviors, the lashing out, and the manipulation. And so I pulled the trigger and had her served. And it was a big surprise. Like, oh my gosh, I'm getting served with divorce. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had to sell the marital home in that. And then here I am with a child and 3 dogs, and didn't really have anywhere to go. That was like where I could keep my family. So I moved in with Axel's biological aunt, who was a very close friend of mine at the time.
How old is Axel now?
18.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
18, living with friends, working, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Yeah, thank you. But anyway, yeah, it just got worse. And even moving in with the aunt, you know, it kind of, the whole narcissism continued even through that. Like, my stress levels were so high that I couldn't even, like, it was just so hard to go day to day, just to get out of bed and go to work. And after a year of living there, I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm moving out, and I got myself an apartment, which is where I am now. But then December, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And, you know, when it was, for me, it was, what's the word? It helped me understand why I was so depressed, and why I couldn't have a decent conversation without crying or whatever. But anyway, you know, it took years, and I'm in the best place I've ever been mentally. And, you know,
That's awesome.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So
good for you.
Oh yeah. I'm just seeing if there's any more Darbid. Hey, Darbid.
Wow. So Julie, do you want to tell us about your story?
Well, I'm old, so I have to condense it because.
Well, we still have 20 minutes, 23 minutes.
The Cliff's Notes version.
I know, right? You know, when I met him, and his daughter was 5, and so I kind of fell in love with them, you know, the daughter too. And so then it made it harder when I was in the thick of it. And he said 3-day silence. That was exactly what my ex would do. He would, like, if he didn't like something, the way an argument turned out or something, he just would give me the cold shoulder for 3 days, you know. And I mean, we weren't like in a big space. It was kind of obvious. But for me, growing up in utter dysfunction and chaos, I just went, well, I guess that's just how he processes his feelings. You know, I didn't really have a clear idea. And it's funny though, because at some level, I knew that I had chosen poorly, because within the first year or so, I remember sitting on the step from the apartment to the garage, looking through stuff from college and thinking of how people had treated me there, as opposed to how he treated me. You know, I mean, he was disrespectful, acted like I was stupid. He was the only one that knew anything, you know. And I mean, I stayed with it far too long, partly because I was, you know, we were part of church. And so, you know, you're supposed to be making that man look good because he's the head. And I ended up just being, I lived in a kind of dissociative state for years. Like there was just this whole fog. I remember trying to go out for a walk and just thinking, I feel like I just have this dome over me that's just keeping me separated from everything. And it would just be the moments like when I was dealing, you know, talking to one of the kids or talking to a friend, that I would feel clear and connected. And I had joined a writer's critique group, and This is where I started noticing, like, he really doesn't want me to do things with other people. But he was, the way he'd do it, he wouldn't say it outright. He'd just start some kind of argument earlier. And then he'd be so bummed out that I'd feel like I couldn't leave,
Mm.
So I ended up being very caretakery, But one of the best things that my very long time therapist said to me that really feeds into the whole gaslighting thing, I was telling her about, some instance, there was always an instance. And she said, when you feel crazy, that's because there's a lie in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started kind of measuring things against that, because it was, what I was experiencing was cognitive dissonance, and that made me feel crazy because I felt unclear. I felt like there was no way that I could actually think through what was happening because I was, like you're saying, the constant fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you're always at this level. I think that's why I have fibromyalgia. I mean, it came right after a big
All the
incident.
stressors, yeah.
Yeah, because it came right after a big incident between him and the church that we were part of, and I just started having symptoms overnight. Just one after the other. But still took me a while to figure out that, it took me until, well, let me just say, if you're already thinking I should maybe buy 2 burner phones and hide them in the bathrooms in case I need to lock myself in there and call for help, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be there. I
Yeah.
think, but that's how fuzzy your thinking gets when you're under that all the time, all the time, all the time. By the end of it, I felt like I was incapable of doing anything. I shouldn't even be trusted to drive myself somewhere. I needed him. It was that, what is that? There's a name for that whole scenario, that learned helplessness, right? Yeah. It was just, I think I just wanted so much to be the one who could make it better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But, but that's, so that's kind of how it went with me. But boy, they really can be very, very good at manipulating where you don't notice that's what it is. Because
did you hear the why are you acting like this? Why do you gotta act like this?
Always us, right? It just was fascinating to me when I looked back and I went, oh, all that time that you pretended you were interested in my life, you were just storing it up so that you could pull it out and rub that wound with salt, just grind it in and hurt me more. That was a big realization that was very good at prompting me to keep moving, So I call it, I ran away from home is what I call that little episode. And it was when I finally was fearing for my actual physical safety. That's when I left. Yeah. So shit show. Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
No, that's hard. Especially, I think I used to be so much stronger. I was a stronger person. And I just think it just eroded everything.
Yeah.
He is the person that I need to eat better, oh gosh, I've got to eat this way. And he's like, oh, I brought home a pizza.
Oh,
Or,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
torpedo you every time.
It love bomb me with food, right? Because that's the addiction. And so it was like, no, this is the point in my life where I'm out of fucks to give.
Right.
I'm gonna be 58 this year, and I want to learn who I am.
Yeah.
Yes. I lost that. I totally lost that by the end of the marriage.
Yeah, I had lost it. And I had just lost hope. Just losing hope. And it's not about this person being bad or not bad. It's just we're not good for each other. I think we're really good friends.
Yeah.
But there needs to be boundaries with that friendship. And I can't be married to this person any longer. He doesn't respect financial boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
In shared accounts, I was surprised to learn I was much more in debt than I had ever imagined.
Oh, yeah. That's bad.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not looking at this now as this is horrible. This is the best fucking thing that ever could have
I think
happened to me.
you're just
Right.
learning a new kind of strength, really.
Yeah.
You know, you were strong for what you needed to be then. You went through all this. Now you're a different kind of strong.
I'm choosing me.
It takes a lot to make those boundaries and hold them. I mean, that is so hard with a person like that.
Mm-hmm. This
Yeah.
time I don't know what, there's no going back. Something was different this time, and I think it took all of these steps for me to get here. I think, unfortunately, I'm a slow learner.
Me too. Me too. I actually got a tattoo of a turtle on my foot for that reason. I
Nice.
told the support group that I was part of that if I ever get out of this marriage, I'm going to get a turtle tattoo. And so then, of course, when he found out I had gotten that, because this was after I was out of the house, he said, "Oh, did you get that because of that time we were in Australia and we saw the turtles in that pool?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, yes, that was it." You know,
Right on.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
So a lot of what you're talking about, Dr. Omni covers, and she's got extensive content on her YouTube, but she's also written books. Her most recent one is "It's Not You," and that was one I actually bought, like I pre-release bought when I still could afford to do stuff like that, and I bought it ebook though, but I read it, and I think I'm going to read it again. But you know, she talks about the kinds of things that happens in narcissistic relationships. A lot of them in the domestic or romantic context, like with your former spouses, but not exclusively. And then they, have their stories in there. I'm certain they're anonymized and whatnot. But it's just a really revealing, telling book. And a lot of the times, not all the time, but a lot of times when I was reading it, I felt seen. And it was really validating. So it's called "It's Not You" by Dr. Ramani Durvasula. And yeah, she's a survivor of narcissistic abuse. PhD psychologist. She's done therapy.
She's very clear. That's what I like about her. She's clear, succinct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to look into her. I've never heard of her, but
yeah, she's great. She also is a guest on a lot of podcasts. She's some crossovers, like with Patrick Teehan. He's another one that I've appreciated, not necessarily for myself, maybe for some reasons, but he's more of a childhood trauma survivor kind of therapist, particularly if there's abuse, alcoholism, things like that. Which I've known a lot of people who would fit that experience. But no one gets out of childhood untraumatized, or almost no one.
I've actually met like 2 people that came from normal families. I'm 72. I've met like 2.
What's normal?
Yeah, like they would actually talk to each other. I mean, they were like human with each other. It was just weird talking to them. Like, oh, what was that like?
Right.
Amazing.
Anyway, I just posted a link to Dr. Omni's webpage that links to a bestseller. It's Not You. She had a former book. I think it was called "Do You Know Who I Am?" And it's also just like about narcissism. One of the things you were talking about, Beth, is a type of gaslighting that she's talked about. I don't remember what she called it specifically because it was a while ago since I viewed the content. But basically, it's where their behavior is so different, and their abuse is subtle enough and behind closed doors that a lot of people aren't going to believe it, especially if you are a little more reactive or if you're loud.
Yep.
And so they're going to believe the abuser over the abuse because of this like performance they're putting on, and it's not the real them. And they might even be nice to you around them, around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you might be like all sweet and act, doing this very performative, I'm the great spouse kind of thing. But then
Mhm.
you get in the car going home, it's like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, he is the service capacity. He is the person who will wait on me hand and foot. That sounds amazing, right? No.
Wow.
It's done to I stopped doing things for myself. I
Mhm.
relied on him so heavily for
Mm.
everything.
Oh
For
yeah.
bringing food home. For
Uh-huh.
it started in a flare or whatever, and then
That's
pretty
that
soon
learned
he's
helplessness
handling
thing
all
too,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's also there was a new word I learned is fiduciary abuse. I didn't know that's what it was, but getting me into contracts, convincing me, and
Oh.
I signed, a $600,000 home
Yeah.
Mhm.
that I just freaking is up for sale. I'm sitting
Yeah.
in an apartment. I'm like, and then you realize, yeah, I have done these things.
Mhm.
But then I have to take accountability myself and
Right.
say,
Yeah.
okay, well, what you allow will continue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think I contribute a lot to, honestly, the group I'm with, Nick Perro, on his intelligent masculinity.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there going, what?
Mhm.
What? My life isn't normal.
Yeah,
When
I
you
know.
start, and you realize this isn't okay and you're not okay.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it was time for me to grow, for sure.
That was one of my realizations as a kid. I think I was in high school, and it was a beautiful day, and so we went over to somebody's house, and we were getting into a water fight. The mom is inside in the kitchen filling up water balloons and like being interested and engaging with us, and I was just
Mhm.
like, because like my mom really didn't want anything to do with me if she could help it.
Oh yeah,
And I
same,
was the
same.
youngest, yeah. And
Mhm.
and then I was staying to dinner, and the mom and my friend, they're just talking to each other and working together. Oh, here, take to this table, blah blah. And I'm just like, they talk to each other like
Hello.
they're people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was just weird. It
Yeah,
was totally new for me. I just was like, what is this?
I had
Mhm.
very similar experience. Yes. Mhm.
It was
I've had
amazing.
a dark triad.
Hmm?
What's that, Nero?
I said I've actually been with the dark triad,
Yeah,
but I'm
explain that because I don't remember what that is.
so it goes beyond like narcissistic abuse or narcissistic personality styles, is what Dr. Ramani likes to say, because like most people who are abusive in that way aren't actually, in the cluster B or narcissistic personality disorder. And she does like to emphasize that, as well as the label itself doesn't matter. You could call them antagonistic or whatever, but the dark triad, basically, that's where you get into like malignant narcissism or the anti-social stuff, like
Mm.
a certain world leader in power.
Hmm.
So they can be really
Hmm.
dangerous.
Can I get an initial?
I'm not going to talk about my experience on that. Partly there's no time, but it would be pretty triggering for people. So
Yeah.
Mm.
So what's the triad part of it?
it's like these dark traits, but they're also charming,
Oh yeah.
They can be violent, they can be manipulative and self-serving. They can like rip you off. But
Oh.
the certain types who are dark triads, be like
Okay.
the most dangerous ones. She's
Interesting.
even come up with the term dark tetrad, but I'm less familiar with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, lack of empathy is part of it, the dark triad, or empathy, lack or no empathy.
Some of them can fake the empathy, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the interesting bit, is that when they can fake it, they have to fool somebody. Yeah.
I think he's still faking it till he makes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the empathy.
Well, in my case, my ex would always be like, I'm such the victim. I'm such the victim. And I just got.
That was my ex too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And so
world
I
is
just
out
got
to get
tired
him.
of it. I got so tired of it that, because I would be like, oh, what can I do?
Yeah.
And eventually I saw through the smoke, and and then I became, the abuser or whatever for
Mhm.
not like catering to this person. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like after I was out of the house, and I mean, it was
Mhm.
enough later that I was in Tennessee, which was a number of years after leaving the house and running away from home. And he was still
Mm.
finding ways through my blocks to send me these YouTube videos of what I was talking about, that the narcissistic women always find the nice guys, and
Mhm.
I'm just like, but at that time I was still really scared of him. So it
Mhm.
was it was really freaky. So I was actually relieved and sad when I was still in Tennessee. He had gotten married again after me.
Mhm.
And um I had the police come to my door to inform me that he had died.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, I'm his ex
Yeah.
wife. And they said, well, you're down as next of kin. So
Hmm.
I mean, I had this rush of relief for
Mm.
starters, and then I felt bad that he died alone because he was just so awful to people and wasn't willing to learn how to be different.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well,
So
Those people are
many,
hard
so
on your
many
nervous system.
background stories, It's like each one of us has individual but similar stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
Yeah.
we're 4 minutes out, but I know, Julie, you need to get back over to the
Yeah.
porch.
For the porch. Yep.
So we'll cut this one just a few minutes
of course.
short.
Did you skip out of the porch?
No, it's in a half hour.
Oh, is
It's
it?
it's the next,
Yeah.
her next live.
Because
So
at least I
Nice.
already have my makeup on. I mean, no, I naturally always look like this.
Why don't we share a moment of joy so we can end on a
oh yeah,
when we
sure.
have really intense topics, that's usually what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll let the guests start first. So Beth, can you share like a moment of joy that you have experienced recently, or?
Yes. I finished the Monday meditation early today.
Nice. Nice.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I had actually finished a meditation. I had a really bad flare this week.
Ooh, I'm
So
sorry.
I missed So-So's party, which I was actually practiced to sing and
Oh
surprise her.
no.
Aw.
But
What were you gonna sing?
I was gonna do Harper Valley PTA. It's the only
Okay.
thing I can do.
Awesome.
So, it just makes me laugh. It's so ridiculously real.
Yep.
But it went all the way up into I couldn't move my neck. Anyway, it was horrifying.
Yep. Look,
Ooh.
I'm not sure if I was supposed to share that, but I'm
Oh.
assuming that's one of Narrow's.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah, it's not complete yet, but
They're just so intricate. That's
but
what
That is
fascinates
beautiful.
me.
like that I've done, and I always did
It's
mandalas,
mathematical and everything, and I don't like math.
but I couldn't do it.
Wow.
It turns out I can, and I was like, oh, so maybe I'm gonna get into that. Because before that, I was doing like Zentangle stuff, just playing around with that, and
Yeah.
all this page filler video that did the little, I don't know what they are. Basically, what she did was draw a circle and then draw triangles in the circle, put a dot in them, and then do these little curves to the corners.
Yeah.
Coordinated them, and that's how it got like the flowery effect. So I was playing with that, and I was like, oh, shoot, I
You're
could
so patient.
draw
Mm-hmm.
mandalas.
Yeah, I really like the geometric
Mhm.
aspect of it.
Yeah.
So that's
Ooh,
made-
that would make a nice tattoo, So-So.
Hmm.
Ooh.
that started with the hexagon.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of lines in there, and that hurts.
Lines from corner to corner and made a bunch of triangles and
That's amazing.
things. And
Wow.
Yeah, keep it up, Narrow. You're getting better and better and better. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she does the color and the shading,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's my moment of joy. this week.
Awesome. Julie?
Joy. Well, the most recent would have been my local daughter here took me over to Edgefield, which is a how do you explain what an Edgefield Manor is? It's one of the McMenamins company takes over
Mm.
other buildings in the
Okay.
area, and that's one that I have a little tie to. Edgefield is where what started out as a poorhouse, and then when it became a like a convalescent home for the elderly, my mom worked there.
Oh, cool.
So it's just kind of a fun thing that now it's this whole other, you know, venue, and you can actually drink beer out on the porch, which is really fun, I must say.
I don't the watch.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
There's
So
several
that was a lovely, lovely, yeah, afternoon.
back in 2012, a friend of mine called it Disneyland for drunks.
Yeah, that's funny. It was so fun sitting on the covered porch and watching all the people who were there for something really fancy with their bare shoulders and their satiny dresses, and then the rain started coming down.
Must have been a prom night or something.
Something. Yeah, something.
All right. Well, I guess I got to share mine, and it's going to be a lot different because, anyway, my moment of joy was realized yesterday when my mental, my meds and everything is allowing me to really concentrate and get projects done.
Oh,
So I have this truck where the water pump went out, and so I got on it and took the truck apart, took the water pump out, and put a new one in.
impressive.
That's
That's a
my
win.
Yep.
That's a win.
But there is
Big
still one more thing I need to take care of it on it. I think there's a leak in the reservoir, the coolant reservoir, but that's,
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
but the big thing was getting the old water pump out and putting the new one in. So yay.
That is cool. That is very cool. And that you can do that yourself.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, we're at 7:01.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was
Yeah,
great.
thanks for being
Thank
on.
you.
It was so fun.
Thank
Follow
you.
up episode sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to get back together and we'll discuss different topics to see if we're, if something you would be interested in talking about.
Thank you.
Head
Yeah.
over to the bedtime on the porch at
Yep,
in a
that's
half
coming
hour.
up.
And
Yeah.
join
Okay.
us there.
Okay,
Okay.
lots of love, y'all. Love, love, love. Let's see.
Lots of love.
Brief.
Thank you.
All right, you guys want to sit back after I end the live
Okay.
and then we'll debrief?
Okay.
All right.
So goodbye, everybody. Darvin, Joe,
See you in the chat.
Jesus, everybody.
Trying.